Just got here to the UK, right now in London, heading up to the 2024 World Indoor Championships in Glasgow in just a couple days. Super excited to see a plethora of different athletes competing at various different events. Now, I'm really surprised that a lot of athletes have chosen to compete indoors despite this being an Olympic year, right? You might figure that some athletes would be saving it, they don't want to risk injury, etc., etc. Regardless, I am excited for all these top athletes who are choosing to run. And I'm going to give you 6 of my favorite events that I'm really looking forward to, again, in the sprint, jumps, and hurdles at the World Indoor Championships in Glasgow. And then additionally, I'm going to be talking about some events that we might see some world records taken down in. Now, first off, I want to talk about that men's 60-meter dash, where this is Noah Lyles versus Christian Coleman, billed as a huge clash. We first already saw it at the USA Indoor Championships just last weekend, where Noah Lyles took down Christian Coleman for the first time in his career. They've been running since 2018, and Christian Coleman had gotten the better of him every single time, but Noah Lyles got the world lead in 6.43 seconds. He is proving time after time that he is figuring the 60-meter dash out, and that is very dangerous for the rest of the world. He is definitely one of the favorites for the gold medal, but you have to really take into consideration that Christian Coleman almost has a chip on his shoulder. We've seen him come back over the past couple years. He hasn't gotten onto the podium outdoors yet. He, of course, got the silver medal at the 2022 World Indoor Championships, but we cannot forget that Christian Coleman is a world indoor record holder, 6.34 seconds. He's the 2018 World Indoor Champion. He's run sub 6.4 a plethora of times, 6.37 on 2 occasions. So don't let his loss to Noah Lyles and his time in Milrose, where he only ran 6.5, don't let those performances dictate what's going to happen in Glasgow. Christian Coleman can very likely win the gold medal here, and that would be a huge springboard as we go into the outdoor season, both for Christian Coleman as well as for Noah Lyles. This is a really good head-to-head that I'm looking forward to. But we also have a couple other guys in the field. Akeem Blake from Jamaica, he actually finished second place to Noah Lyles at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, running 6.45 seconds. So it's not like Akeem Blake is to be dismissed. He can very likely make some noise here, and he can very likely spoil the party. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what he's able to do. And then additionally, we also have Ferdinand Omanyala. Omanyala actually competed at the 2022 World Indoor Championships. I think he only made the semifinals, but he really showed up this year. He's been running pretty consistent, has run 6.4 seconds. We're going to see how he's able to play out and if he could spoil the party. He's never gotten a medal either at the outdoor or indoor championships, so this could be his time. But again, Noah Lyles, Christian Coleman, those are the top 2 that I'm definitely looking forward to potentially go 1 and 2. We're going to see how things pan out. Next up, I want to talk about the women's 60-meter dash. And I think people are kind of sleeping on the potential to see some crazy things in this event. We're having Aaliyah Hobbs versus Julian Alfred going head-to-head, I think for the first time in their careers in the 60-meter dash. Julian Alfred, of course, leads the world right now at 6.99 seconds, the only woman to run sub-7. But Aaliyah Hobbs also has been super consistent, running 7.05. She won USA Championships. She said she had a little hiccup or a little niggle, which caused her to pull out of, I think, the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, but she is ready. She won USA's, and I am really looking forward to this matchup. Another little tidbit is that both Hobbs and Alfred have the same personal best, 6.94 seconds, which makes them equal number 2 all time in the 60-meter dash. They're actually not too far away from the world record, but we're going to see how that kind of plays out. Additionally, we have to keep a lookout for Iwa Swoboda from Poland. Swoboda, of course, has been super dominant over the past couple years in the 60-meter dash. She, of course, slightly faltered in 2022, and she was unable to get on the podium indoors at the last World Indoor Championships. But she's been really consistent through 2024. She might be one to spoil the party right here. You also have Makai Briscoe. Makai Briscoe is a silver medalist from the 2022 World Indoor Championships. She ran sub 7 seconds to get that silver medal there. She is very much in the mix and in the conversation for a podium spot. And then you also have Brianna Williams from Jamaica. Brianna Williams, she competed in 2022 indoors, and I think she got 5th place in the 60 when they were in Belgrade, Serbia. We're going to see if she's able to step things up and make some good progress. She trains with Akeem Blake under Michael Frater, so they're in a really great training group. Brianna Williams is one to keep an eye out for. All right, next up, let's talk about these long jumps. And the men's long jump is kind of getting a little bit overlooked considering some of the athletes who have been really consistent in 2024. First off, from Italy, Mattia Furlani has really stepped things up significantly. And this guy is, I think, only 19 years old. He's jumped 8.34 meters to lead the world. Wayne Pinnock also leads the world from Jamaica, but I don't think he's going to be competing at the World Indoor Championships. I'm looking out to see what Furlani is able to do. Again, he's really, really young and still has a lot of potential, but for him to be a world leader right now, that is definitely setting the stage for some great competition. But you also have Miltiades Tentoglou, the Olympic champion, the world champion, the previous world indoor champion. He is really consistent through 2024, and I think that because of his progress over the past couple years, his dominance, his ability to really be super clutch and, you know, get a far jump on the last jump, I think he is definitely one very much in contention for the gold medal. But then you have the Jamaicans, Kerry McLeod and Tajay Gale. They are both going to be competing here in Glasgow. And Tajay Gale, of course, he's a former world champion from 2019. He got the bronze medal in Budapest last year outdoors. We're going to see if he's able to really continue to get back into the form that he's been showing and potentially get on the podium indoors here. Kerry McLeod, he got 4th place in Budapest last year, just missing a spot on the podium. Actually, Tajay Gale, you know, just edged him out for the last jump in Budapest. But I think Kerry McLeod, he's been jumping well. We spoke to him in the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix. I like the progress that he's been making, and he very much could be a force for gold here in Glasgow. Now, what about the women's long jump? Well, I'm looking at Tara Davis-Woodhall as a very, very strong contender to get the gold medal, which would be her first ever gold medal at either the World Championships or Olympic Games. We, of course, saw her get on the podium in Budapest last year, but this year she has already jumped 7.18 meters, which makes her one of the farthest jumpers in the history of the women's long jump. I'm really excited. She looks like she's been having a lot of momentum over the past couple seasons, so this could really be her time in Glasgow. But we also have to look out for Malaika Mihambo. Mihambo was injured last year, so she wasn't able to compete in Budapest, but she already kicked off 2024 jumping 6.95 meters. She's a previous Olympic champion. She's a previous world champion. She was arguably the most dominant long jumper for a couple years. Again, injury setbacks took her out from 2023. So we're going to see how things play out this year, just in a couple days in Glasgow. Additionally, you also have someone like Larissa Iapicino. She was super consistent last year. Arguably, you can argue she was the top long jumper last year, though she didn't get on the podium. But if we're just talking about overall season, Larissa Iapicino was very consistent. The Nigerian women, Ese Brume, as well as Ruth Usoro, both of them are really, they stepped things up kind of in the second half of the indoor season. We did see them in Boston. They didn't jump as well, but then they went to various different meets, and both Usoro as well as Ese Brume got consistent, and they are definitely in the conversation. And then shout out to Monet Nichols. I think Monet Nichols made her first World Championship team here, so this is going to be an exciting experience for her. In the past, she's jumped 6.9 meters outdoors. I think this year she's only jumped 6.7, but she is very much in the conversation. Again, with that motivation, she's young, making her first championship team. We're going to see how that plays out. Now, one event that I completely forgot to talk about this morning is the women's 4x400 meter relay, where we're going to be seeing a clash of the United States going up against Netherlands. And this is essentially a rematch from what we saw last year in Budapest. Now, not in the 4x4, but remember the mixed 4x4. Alexis Holmes got the gold medal, actually kind of running down Femke Bol right before Femke Bol fell to the track to win the gold medal as well as the world record in the mixed 4x4. But the Netherlands followed back up, and Femke Bol ran the anchor leg to get the gold medal in the women's open 4x4. Now, the United States didn't make the final. Alexis Holmes had a little hiccup, in the heats of the 4x4. But now here in 2024, as we look indoors, Netherlands is on fire. Femke Bol as an individual in the 400, she of course is the clear favorite there. She also has a strong supporter in Lieke Klaver, who's number 2 in the world, I think, in the 400 right now. So they're going to be leading the Netherlands. Those two are definitely going to be the front runners. But then the United States probably has a little bit more depth. Alexis Holmes, Talitha Diggs, Quanera Hayes, a couple other women are in that mix when we're talking about the women's 4x4 for the United States. So those are the top 2 teams, but you also have Jamaica. You also have Great Britain. Some of these other women are really going to be stacking things up to potentially sneak a gold medal, maybe a silver medal ahead of the United States and Netherlands. Looking forward to seeing what's happening in that women's 4x4. But let's head back and finish up with some of those other events I'm looking forward to at the World Indoor Championships. All right, now let's end things off with the women's triple jump. And this is where we have, in general, probably four main players here. Leonis Perez-Hernandez from Cuba. You also have Thea Lafond from Dominica. You also have Katora Orji and Jasmine Moore from the United States. Now, Perez-Hernandez leads the world right now with 14.86 meters, and she's just on the cusp of that 15-meter barrier. But Thea Lafond has also jumped 14.6 meters this year as well. Then just behind both of them, you have Katora Orji and Jasmine Moore, who jumped 14.5 and 14.4 meters respectively. I'm really looking forward to seeing, especially how someone like Katora Orji as well as Jasmine Moore really translates when we're talking about the World Indoor Championships. Both of them have competed at World Championships before. Jasmine Moore last year, while she was competing at Florida, jumped 15 meters to break the American record, become one of the farthest jumpers in history. So we're going to see how she translates in her first professional season at a World Championships. Additionally, Perez-Hernandez, I really think that she has the potential to go a little bit further, get into that 15-meter barrier, maybe go into like the 15.2s if she's able to hit things right. She's been kind of a sleeper, especially considering a lot of the Cuban jumpers don't get as much spotlight, don't get as much recognition. You know, they don't do as much media, right? But regardless, I think that she has a lot of strong potential. And then, of course, Thea Lafond. Thea Lafond, check out the video that I did on her back in the fall. Thea Lafond really has a lot of potential. She jumped 14.9 meters to get, I think, 5th place at the World Championships last year. So she's very much in the conversation and in the mix. And then I have to mention Katora Orji. Katora Orji has been a long-standing player when talking about the triple jump. She's come 4th place a couple times at the Olympic Games, at the World Championships. So we want to see her kind of on the podium here in Glasgow to really cement herself as one of the best triple jumpers in the world, like she has been over the past couple years, despite not yet having a medal. All right, let's talk about world records. Now, there's a couple events that I think we might see world records go down in and have some strong potential either for a couple athletes or at least one dominant athlete to take down a world record. First off, I actually want to talk about the women's 60-meter dash. Now, this is kind of surprising as we haven't seen a world record in the event this year. You know, no woman has actually gotten close to it yet. But again, I'm looking at Julian Alfred as well as Aaliyah Hobbs. Both of them have run 6.94 seconds in their careers. Julian Alfred last year while she was at Texas, and then of course Aaliyah Hobbs at USA's last year. Both of them also ran it at Albuquerque, so a little bit of altitude. So you might not think that they would do it, you know, at sea level here in Glasgow, but I think there's some strong potential. Again, this is the first time that both of them are going to be racing each other in the 60-meter dash. So that competition is really going to breed some fast times. Another thing is that I was looking at the 2022 World Indoor Championships, and remember that Mujinga Kumbunji actually won the gold medal running 6.96 seconds. And I would pretty much assume that we can all agree that Aaliyah Hobbs and Julian Alfred are much better athletes than Mujinga Kumbunji in terms of the talent, in terms of the speed, in terms of all around. So I think that we could see both of them, Alfred and Aaliyah Hobbs, take down potentially the world record of 6.92 seconds. Again, only 200ths of a second away from their personal best. Let's see what happens with that. Additionally, the women's 60-meter hurdles. Now, we've seen Devin Charlton, we've seen Tia Jones. Both of them ran 7.67 seconds to take down the world record. Additionally, both of them have run 7.68 seconds to equal the previous world record as well. But Tia Jones is not going to be competing at these World Indoor Championships. She said that she, was dealing with a little bit of pain on her ankle after USA's, but regardless, Devin Charlton is a clear favorite in the event, and I think she very much has the potential. She not only ran the world record at the Millrose Games, but also in Madrid just this past weekend, she equaled the previous world record, running 7.68 seconds. I think she is on a mission to get faster and faster and faster and prove herself as one of the best in the world. Of course, she has the world record, but she doesn't yet have the medals that some of these other women have. Though she got silver at the last World Indoor Championships, I think she knows that she is a favorite and that she wants to go for something extremely fast. Could we see 7.63? I think that's probably in the range of what I'm looking for, but we're going to see how that plays out. Also in the hurdles, we have Grant Holloway in the men's 60-meter hurdles. Now, he's been super dominant. He hasn't lost a race indoors in a decade or so, and he already broke the world record this year, running 7.27 seconds. Broke his previous world record that he set back in 2022 and also in 2021. I think Grant Holloway can very well take down his record again. He did a little one and done at USA's, running the world record in the semifinals and then just, pulling out because he already had the world championship bye to indoors. I think Grant Holloway can very likely run 7.25, 7.24, maybe even a little bit faster. We know that Grant Holloway's, strong suit are the first 5 hurdles, and this is really going to translate to the outdoor season where, he struggles a little bit in the second half of the race, but I think here we can very likely see Grant Holloway take down the world record once again, clear favorite in the men's 60-meter hurdles. Finally, the women's 400-meter dash. Another athlete who's already broken their own world record this season, Femke Bol. She ran 49.24 seconds, breaking her previous record of 49.26 from last year. And the only thing here is that I'm not actually sure if she is going to take down the world record. I think what she did at the Dutch Championships was her true attempt at breaking the world record, which she eventually did. I do think that she has the potential to run sub 49 seconds, but I actually think that winning the gold medal is a little bit more important to Femke Bol than getting that world record. Remember, in 2022, she finished second place to Shauna Miller-Uibo, who took her down for the gold medal, at the World Indoor Championships then. And I think that Femke Bol just wants to solidify herself as one of the greatest 400-meter runners in history, which is strange to say for someone who has the world record. But I think the gold medal is the #1 priority, and then the world record is going to come after that. So those are the events that I'm looking forward to see if we're able to take down some world records in Glasgow. Do I think that 4 world records are going to get taken down? I'm not exactly sure, considering how many records we've been seeing over the past, couple weeks. It very well could happen. This is just in the sprints, the jumps, and the hurdles, so we could see some things in the distance races as well. But let me know what you think about the World Indoor Championships. What are you looking forward to? What are some of the athletes? What are some of the events that you're really excited to see? And then do you think we'll see some of these world records go down in Glasgow? So as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely be sure to follow all the coverage that's going to be going down in Glasgow. Follow Citius Mag, as we're going to be getting a lot of interviews, a lot of content, from the World Indoor Championships. A lot of athletes are competing despite it being an Olympic year, which makes me excited to see what's going to be going down. But thanks for watching, y'all.